Hello and welcome everyone to Sunrise Tarot. My name is Leah and today I'm doing a reading for the sign of Scorpio for the second part of August, August 15th through the 31st. Please remember that this is a general reading. There may be some parts that do not resonate with you. Please take the parts that do resonate and leave the rest. You may also want to check out your other signs. I've already meditated on the cards. I've already shuffled the cards, and this is the spread that I have for you today. Definitely Scorpio, you just looking over the spread, you're gonna have a little bit of an issue come up in the towards the end of August, but in the past position we of course have the King of Pentacles, which is a very good card for finances. It suggests to me that in the recent past you did quite well financially and you were pretty grounded, and meaning you were stable, you felt good, you felt like you had control over the financial situation. The King of Pentacles likes to, he's generous. He also likes tradition. He likes commitment sort of things. He likes that dependability, whether it's a commitment, to a friendship or commitment at work or commitment at home. The King of Pentacles has very grounded energy, so he's definitely kind of stable and caring. He does have at times a bit of negative elements as well. Like he can be a little bit stubborn. He could be. He sometimes kind of likes to be a little bit flashy. He could be a little bit obsessed with wealth, but for the most part, he does well financially. And in the past, to me, Scorpio suggests that something did work out for you. And of course, the Four of Swords definitely is about rest and rejuvenation. The Four of Swords is not the most positive card because it is retreating after a battle, and kind of getting that much needed rest at something. It could be that for some of you, you were a little bit too focused on one thing. Like, for example, you could have been focused on a personal relationship and not focused on work, and so work suffered. Or vice versa. You could have been a little bit too focused at work, and so personal relationships suffered. But for the most part, I think for most of you, the combination here with the King of Pentacles and the Four of Swords is generally very positive. It suggests that you may have received advice or some inspiration, some support that recently that you used to your benefit, that you used to your advantage. It's of course it's a very good positive combination. The King of Pentacles and the Four of Swords provides a very stable ground, very kind of good foundation on which you can fall back on if things get a little bit out of control. In the negative and obstacle position, you have the Two of Swords and the Hermit. Not the best combination, especially the Hermit suggests being alone. It's not a very good card for love. But the Two of Swords, it could be about inner conflict. It could be about not taking action. It could, suggest that you are maybe feeling a little bit trapped by the decision that you may have to make in your personal life or in your work life. It suggests that you are you have this self-imposed blindness. There's something you're not seeing. There's confusion. There's lack of clarity that you're experiencing. You're kind of not dealing with some problem that is clearly arising for you, and you are going to have a bit of a difficult time kind of overcoming it. It could be with the Hermit that you're pushing people away. Maybe someone is trying to provide advice and you're just sort of a little bit too focused. Scorpios tend to be a little bit obsessive about things, so be careful and be mindful of that. Make sure that you remain open to other people's advice. Make sure you're you remain open to other people's support. Sometimes you kind of, need a break from the obsession. But definitely the Two of Swords may be for some of you an ending. There could be a relationship that is coming to an end. There could be, I just see some kind of a conflict, some kind of words being exchanged, and you retreating sort of because you are still a little bit raw due to that conflict. You may kind of feel a little bit confused as far as not knowing what you want, allowing, feelings to sort of have too much control over you a little bit. The best thing to do is to rest and recharge, to maybe meditate, have some time to yourself. I think the Hermit is for some of you is actually quite a positive card because it's going to give you a little bit of self-reflection. It's going to shine the light on those problem areas, and by addressing those, it'll make things easier for you. It'll lighten the load. I mean, if you have a bit of a conflict at work, the Hermit moment is going to kind of sequester you for a little bit and let you work through the problem so that, your colleagues see, better sides of you. It could be that you may be pushing people without really being able to help yourself. Maybe, a little bit of stress is just too overwhelming. I do think you are kind of worried a little bit about the finances here, but I think the finances you're pretty good. Although with the 10 of Pentacles in this clarifying position, you could have some expenses that are coming up that are going to be a lot more than you anticipate. But you definitely have a bit of a failure in a relationship. It's not working, and you're trying to, see different situations. What can you do in order to make things better? The Moon in the Two of Swords suggests that there's some information you may not be aware of, which makes the situation harder. The swords generally represent words, so they can be hurtful, they can be critical. Someone definitely has a kind of maybe feels a little bit of beef towards you, or it could be you. It could be you that feels a little bit unhappy with someone. Maybe you're feeling that someone is not pushing their load. They're not meeting you halfway in certain situations. The Devil in the present position, of course, is a bit of a obstacle in and of itself. The Devil, of course, is greed. It could be temptation. It could be fear itself for some of you. It could be that you are very possessive over something and it's sort of blinding you a little bit. This is a kind of goat-headed deity that brings this darkness, demons, things out of you that could be, your way of venting your emotions, but it could be pushing other people away. It could be that you have some bad habits. Maybe you have a bit of an addiction. It doesn't have to be to like a substance. Addiction could be to attention, for example, where you always need to be complimented, where you always need to be appreciated and, unable to sort of, go by sort of without it. It's definitely for some of you having illusions, feeling trapped maybe by those illusions, feeling trapped by a false understanding of what is actually really going on. Interestingly, the 10 of Pentacles is a very positive card. It's a card of inheritance. It's a card of transferring of wealth. And, Pentacles, very much like the King of Pentacles. Pentacles is an earth element, so it's a very grounding element. It makes you feel stability. It makes you feel good. And for some of you, even though, you have this Devil here, for some of you, money-wise, you're going to be just fine. I mean, Pentacles is very, very good for, your financial side of things. It could be that some of you are breaking free from something, due to this incoming, financial abundance. Maybe you are able to break free from some obligation or from some responsibility or some kind of a bad addiction. But for others of you, because the devil is in the major position and the Ten of Pentacles is the clarifier, definitely there's going to be a few problems, or maybe even a pretty big problem that's going to be a very annoying obstacle for many of you. It could be that obstacle is of your own doing, because you have not worked through, or maybe avoided something. Maybe you didn't, when you had to, take care of a problem, maybe you were distracted by something else, and, I call that usually a loose end, and so that loose end grew into something pretty big. But the devil in the present position does not bode necessarily well for quite a large number of you. Of course, the High Priestess is in the future outcome with the King of Swords. The High Priestess is usually a card of wisdom, but it's also about intuition. So you will have a bit of an issue coming up, a bit of a problem that is going to be coming your way, and your best bet is to solve it with your intuition. You're going to have to see and read between the lines. Maybe there will be people who will say, you need to do this or you should do this, but only you know what is best for you. And so you're going to, for some of you, you're just going to have to act based on faith, not really having a guaranteed outcome. You're going to have to make your move sort of, not blinded, but not really having that confirmation that things are going to work out. And so make sure that you move slowly, that you're patient, that you definitely kind of go through details and pay attention to the fine print. The King of Swords is definitely someone who's very blunt and someone who communicates with his sword. He's very intelligent and he's sort of quick-witted, and he's very rational. So he is definitely helping the High Priestess in this combination make a decision, the best decision that can be made, having the facts in front of you as they are. But definitely, make sure and watch that you are not making an impulsive decision, because the King of Swords, of course, is air energy, which is very fast-moving energy. So make sure that you review all the details you can. Let's see if we can clarify some of this reading with the 3 energy oracle cards that I pulled. Normally I pulled 2, but this time I pulled 3. And so we have Storm Warning. Of course, very much directly relates to the devil. Patience, and that is supported by the High Priestess. And adjacent possibilities. Make sure you look around, make sure you keep your eyes open, because there are things that are happening around you. The Storm Warning is not necessarily a guarantee that, there's going to be a problem, but, you do have the Two of Swords, and it's in the negative, in the obstacle position. You do have the devil, so something is coming up in the month of August, Scorpio. You definitely have to mind your P's and Q's. Make sure you do not make any rash decisions. This card, the Storm card, indicates clouds on the horizon. There may be a potential difficulty in the external world or within yourself and your emotional life. The difficulty is coming closer, and you may have already heard rumblings and potential problems around you. The caution here is to be conscious yet not fearful. Consider what's going on and look at the situation with calm clarity. Investigate your options and honor yourself and your intentions. Stand up for yourself and take action on your behalf. As with all difficulty, even the worst storm passes. Always remember you have the power and the wisdom to handle whatever may come your way. And the affirmation for the storm card is, I have the power to overcome any obstacle. No matter what is going on, I can be strong, confident, and self-directed. The devil is referred to by some as fear itself, and of course the greatest prize lies in the dark place, where your greatest fear lies. So you have everything that you need to overcome any kind of obstacle that is coming up to you in the month of August. And you will succeed. The High Priestess is a very good sign. Patience is a reminder from the divine to make sure that you do not act rushly. Because when you hurry and you don't pay attention to everything, you will miss important things which would delay your progress. Patience is about letting go of desperation, which is very difficult to do, especially when you're trying to overcome a large obstacle. The card shows a beautiful angel holding a clock in the stillness of winter. Her quiet, peaceful energy is telling you that it's time to release the old urgency and to look at things with a much clearer perspective. When this card is upright, it's telling you to relax, let go, and stop feeling desperation. Don't try to force your will on only one option. When you think there's only one solution to satisfy your need or to make you happy, you're blocking many other potential solutions from coming your way. Let go of the anxiety and be flexible. And the way you are flexible is by allowing your emotions to pass through you. Sometimes when people get angry, they sort of sit there and their temperature rises because they just feel really, really like they're holding on to that emotion. When you allow an emotion to pass through you, you're holding just your body. And yeah, when a negative emotion passes through you, it does not feel very good. But it requires a lot of mental strength to not hold on to that emotion. When you just allow the emotion to pass through you and you notice it, you acknowledge it, it doesn't feel pleasant, it doesn't feel great, but the good thing is that it passes through you. You're not spending precious energy on holding on to it and kind of churning over. Like, for example, if you had an argument with someone, sometimes you spend hours and hours and hours in your head going over that argument. That takes a lot of energy, and which results in the fact that you may not notice different opportunities and possibilities. There are ways to be creative with problems. There are ways to be creative with solutions. Many people I know have told me that it's just not possible to work from home. And then, when they kind of had to face that problem, they found many different ways, especially when they had to share their home, with a spouse or children who would also be at home, or even roommates. If you don't have a spouse or children, maybe family staying with you because they're going through a difficult time, it's hard to figure out different solutions. But when you keep calm and you'll let emotions pass through you rather than holding on to them, you notice different possibilities because you're more open, you're more accepting to things, you're more accepting to noticing things. Let's see what ancestors and angels have for us. I also pulled two cards from ancestors and angels, and they are Magic Guardian, unlock the magic within, and Great Teacher, learn from the spiritual experiences. The Magic Guardian definitely suggests that you have the power to manifest. You have the power to create. Make sure you tap into that power. It was given to you for a reason. Do not ignore it, because it is there to be used, and it is there to, help you a great deal. The Great Teacher is a very, very good card. It says, know that what is happening around you is divinely inspired. Learn from your current experiences, then share them with others. This card can represent a teacher in your life or the great teacher within. Either way, it shows that you have dedicated a lot of time, effort, energy to understanding yourself and the world. You're having spiritual experiences at this time and gaining a greater awareness of what you need to do in order to grow. There is a great chance that if you've been having any challenges recently, you've surmounted them and allowed them to be vehicles to lessons that are helping you your spiritual connection. If you're feeling a little bit of dissatisfaction, a little bit of pain, a little bit of just discomfort, know that it's you growing. Know that it's you learning from the divine. And of course, the bird is a very good sign. It suggests to me that there's some good news on the way. Maybe the divine is sending you someone or something to help you overcome the problem. But birds are generally a very good sign, the sign of freedom, of course. If you enjoyed this reading, please like, share, and subscribe. Please feel free to leave any comments. I enjoy reading them. It helps me connect with your energies. Also, please don't forget to check back next week. I will be doing a monthly reading for the month of September, so make sure to check that out. I can't believe we're already in September, or close. Again, if you enjoyed this reading, please like, share, and subscribe, and I will see you next time.